Hi, it's Mick here in Canada with a matchday review and preview for the Roaring Peacock Leeds Overseas. So the last match against West Ham was a frustrating match wherein we had the lion's share of possession and created a boatload of half chances and weren't able to capitalize. Wash, rinse, repeat. We've seen this over and over again, and I have to admit to being quite frustrated by the fact that we keep losing in the exact same way. Now, there are other times that we've lost this season where we've been outplayed, such as against Chelsea, which interestingly enough is the team we're going to be playing next, and I'll be previewing that in a moment. But a lot of our defeats, as we've seen even in the championship, were matches where other teams set up, frustrated us, hit us on the break, or hit us with set pieces, and that's exactly what happened. And all of the goals that West Ham scored against us this season either came from set pieces or the penalty spot. So that's still a deficiency, although we have showed some improvement in that area in recent matches. We reverted to type, it seems, against West Ham. I do wonder whether the fact that Pascal Struijk is not available, he was out obviously due to injury. I don't know whether he would have been selected even if he was available now that Llorente is back, but I do feel that he gives us a little bit more in terms of defending and attacking set pieces, to be fair. With his height and his mobility in the box, I think he does a really good job with those. So maybe that was the cause of the improvement, or maybe there is something a little bit tactical in terms of how we're shifting ourselves around, but something's not working there. It's still a problem that Bielsa needs to sort out. I don't know what the correct answer is. It would be, I know some people have suggested maybe we go zonal marking on set pieces, but it's pretty difficult to move from zonal marking back to man-to-man marking very, very quickly. And I think, as everyone knows and appreciates, some of our best goals and some of our best attacking plays have come out of defending set pieces as well. So if we did that, if we did zonal, we may not be in the correct position to be able to break out quickly, potentially as well. I'm not entirely sure what Bielsa's logic is behind how he sets us up for set pieces, but I think that probably has something to do with it as well. So West Ham, they were able to press us in wide areas in our own half, which stopped us from playing out down the wings the way that we like to. And where we were able to get forward with the ball, they played very compact in their own area and frustrated us and really restricted what we were able to do. The VAR decision, of course, against Costa did not help. It was at best a marginal decision, at worst a very questionable one. I'm not sure why the line was drawn on a bit of a diagonal. It appeared to be drawn on a diagonal from his knee down to the line on the pitch, and that's something that they'll never ever explain. I just hope, with the fact that surveys have gone out to the clubs apparently this week about VAR use, that it seems that the league are aware of the concerns. I don't know how they couldn't be, but also that they are looking at potentially addressing them. So maybe some of these frustrations will be a thing of the past in the near future. Certainly not this season, but for next season. Anyway, despite how frustrating that West Ham match was, and just seeing that we sort of fell to the same problems that we've had that we've just simply not been able to correct, I don't think that should detract, and I'm going to say this over and over again, everyone. I really am. It shouldn't detract from where we are. It shouldn't detract from how happy we all should be that we are currently sitting in 11th place with 35 points, and that we've really done very well this season. I think we should all be very happy with how this season has gone. We're going to lose matches. We're going to lose matches against the top sides. West Ham, not traditionally a top side, but this season they are. Look where they are in the league. Look how well they've done. They are a top side this season. And so, although the way the match went, in terms of being able to, watch it and enjoy it, it wasn't particularly enjoyable, similar to the match previous with Aston Villa. It should not detract from how happy we should all be with how the season is going. And so, we've got to look at it and look at it in the bigger picture for that reason. The upcoming match against Chelsea, I don't expect much out of this one, to be fair. They were probably the best team, at least when we played them last time. And it takes some. Well, it takes something to admit that, considering their previous manager was Frank Lampard. He got it right last time. Tactically, somehow or another, he was able to get his players to raise their game to levels that they hadn't shown before, and I don't think they've shown since, in terms of their energy output, the way they ran. And of course, he ran them ragged that match. We ran them ragged that match, and they went on a losing streak, which eventually culminated in Frank Lampard being replaced by Thomas Tuchel. And Tuchel sets up Chelsea a bit differently. I don't expect them to run and press the way that they did under Lampard. But they do set up in a 3-4-3 formation, which is tricky for us. The reason for that is, 3 at the back with 2 wing backs, and we know all about their wing backs. Reece James played a blinder last time, when we faced them down at Stamford Bridge. It can, a back 3 can easily become a back 5. A back 3 is something we traditionally struggle to break down anyway. I basically view this as a free hit. If we get a result out of it, that's amazing. I don't expect one. And because I don't expect a result going into it, I can really just sit back and enjoy it. And that's my advice to everyone. Enjoy the ride. We're in the Premier League, 35 points, 11th place. We're playing against Chelsea, one of the top teams, whether we like to admit it or not, one of the top teams in the world with Tuchel, one of the top coaches in the world. This is where we want to be. This is what it was all about. And it's our first season back. We've got room to grow. We've got what will hopefully be a very interesting and exciting summer transfer window coming up. We'll see what we can do to improve from one season to the next. So just sit back, enjoy the match, have a pint, and have a great weekend. Thanks, everyone.
Hello Leeds fans, this is Varun from Bombay, India. So just want to recap our game versus versus West Ham. Pretty typical about our awesome run of results in London, and I think the odds are stacked against us with the London curse and the kind of team that they are, West Ham. Very happy to not have the ball, have very physical attacking team very physical and defensive team. So I think we struggle against this, and because of lack of creativity in midfield and lack of stability there, I think it's really costing us this season. Hopefully next season we can correct these situations going forward. Moving on to Chelsea, it's another really hard game. Although it's a London team, we're playing at Ellen Road. But realistically, I think they're in a brilliant run of form. They are future title contenders. Only thanks to Frank Lampard, they are around 4th or 5th right now. But it's a hard team to play against. I think they look really organized. Callum Hudson-Odoi look really good. Jorginho, Kante, Ziyech, and even Havertz and Werner now are looking like the players that they ought to be. So I think not going to predict another win here, but predicting a narrow defeat possibly due to the pitch conditions at Ellen Road. Chelsea are a pure passing side like us, so their game could suffer. And I think Bielsa would have learned from the mistakes that he made against Chelsea in the previous game. So I'm hoping for a tighter encounter, but then again, that's a bit optimistic. I think they are a fantastic team, and that's the kind of team that we've not done well against the top 4. So the first goal is crucial. I think we've let ourselves down there, and if we can get that first goal, then that gives us a great chance. I think we're good on the counter. We've looked reasonably good on the counter, but we've not got the chance because we've conceded too many early goals this season. So the early goal is crucial, and then you never know. Like we could pull off a rabbit out of a hat.
What is the crack? It's Scott here on Leeds Overseas here on the Roaring Peacock on the tube for you, the YouTube, not calling YouTube, but this is of course YouTube. This is my reaction and hopes. So my reaction to the West Ham defeat and my hopes for what could, should and probably won't be when we have Chelsea at home. So first, West Ham. What an absolute shithouse of a match is the best way I can describe that. You know, the Tyler Roberts goal was a goal. Costa was not offside. There wasn't even a hair nor a swollen mole on his knee offside. It just wasn't. And whenever VAR, initially I thought, oh, Costa's offside. Then VAR reviewed it and I thought, wait a second. Looked at it. Nope, he's onside. It's a goal. But VAR said, no, it's offside. No. Your lines were offside. But Costa wasn't. Like, the lines actually showed Costa was onside. So, yet again, VAR strikes and ruins the game. For me, that goal stands, changes the dynamic of the match. Then we score again, but the ball's out of play before it comes in, which, yes, it was. However, for West Ham's second goal, the ball wasn't even in the circle, not a single part of the circle for the corner, so the corner shouldn't have been taken. It should have been made to be retaken. Therefore, that second goal shouldn't stand. But I digress. Most magical thing that happened in that match for me was Meslier saving it. Fantastic to see Meslier saving a penalty. When you see a goalie save a penalty, it's just glorious. You celebrate almost like it's a goal. But then there was dark magic in play. Some hoodoo, voodoo, you-do come into play. That dirty, dark magic with Lingard following up and putting it in the back of the net after Meslier made a wonderful save. Some think it's funny. Lingard in particular. Typical. And I actually said before the match too, I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Dean gave a penalty for a foul on Lingard. Something fishy this way comes, methinks. Yeah, so look, that it is what it is. The funniest thing that happened in that match for me, I know, poor officiating. Again, it's actually just at the point where if you don't laugh, you'll cry or punch someone. And I think I'm going to laugh and then punch someone. So that's that. You know, we lost that one. Realistically, I think we all pretty much expected to lose in London again. But now we have got a big match coming up at home to Chelsea on another London pitch. It's wonderful, these London pitches. We're playing a London team on a pitch that came from London, but it's in Leeds. I'm not going to lie, I don't hate Chelsea as much as I used to now that Fat Lampard's gone. Or I enjoy calling him Fwank Lamptard. Fwank, get it? Fwank Lamptard. Yes, you can thank me for that in postcards and the post and things. Yeah, that's. I just have no thoughts on this. I'm going to be completely honest. I think we certainly have the ability there. Our style of play, we can certainly take 3 points from anyone, providing VAR doesn't screw us over and the lads play to their best. And that's what I wanted to see against West Ham. And I personally think they put in a great shift. I think they'll put in another good shift against Chelsea. But unfortunately, me personally, I'm just not expecting anything from it. If we lose this season, I'm not going to be too bothered. You know, it's not a game that I'm looking at and going, yeah, we need to win this. We have to win this. We've got a couple of games coming up that I look at and go, right, we have to win those, because there's some games where I'm looking at and I'm writing them off in my mind straight away, thinking we aren't going to get anything from that. But we still can. You know, as long as we put the shift in. I fancy the same lineup, except I can see Dallas starting in midfield and Rodrigo starting. I can't see Klitsch or Robert starting. And I think Alioski, who has been the centre of controversy this week, but I don't want to go into that because my heart's breaking for him, because he was one of my favourite players and I really don't want him to go to that dirty team. Dirty team. But you know, if Alioski does go and he gets a good paycheck, fair play to him. It's not the same as Don Australian moron. It's now unemployed. Anyway, that's it for me. This is Leeds Overseas. On.
Hi, I'm Paul Walsh. I'm from County Offaly in Ireland. I'm a die-hard Leeds fan for the last 30 years. Leeds versus West Ham. Look, we're okay, aren't we? It's fine. We're going to stay up, aren't we? We only really need one more win. 38 points has been enough for the last few years. Maybe we need 40, but look, we're okay. I think we're fine. Look, yeah, I think there's a lot of panic this week with certain fans going, look at the run-in, look at the game, look who we have to play. It's fine. It was a very frustrating game, West Ham. We should have scored early. There was how Robert's goal wasn't allowed is beyond me. I think in the first 10 minutes we absolutely slaughtered them. But then after that they came into the game to penalty. Oh, very frustrating. But it was a penalty. And then they just took over, and at half time it could have been 3-0 easily. But it wasn't. And in the second half we made subs at half time. I do think we're lacking a bit of quality on the bench. I think Harrison coming in for Costa, I think neither of them did much the last day. I thought Click was very poor and had to come off. I'd like to see Rodrigo come on earlier for Roberts, but it didn't happen. Maybe fitness. We were a better team in the second half, much better team. Had our chances. We could have probably won the game. We did enough to get a draw. The chances, we had 17 chances. Oh, bloody hell. Like we really, and Rafinha, the bicycle kick, he had 2 chances. Then we had Bamford, missed a sitter, missed another chance. Oh, we just so many. It just Rodrigo. Oh, we just had our chance, but anyway, it wasn't to be. The London hoodoo continues. Just one of them nights, very frustrating, but it's fine. We're okay, and we move on to Chelsea. Look, Chelsea. Oh, I'd love to be playing a Frank Lampard's Chelsea, because any Frank Lampard team you love to be playing, don't you? It's just that little bit easier, isn't it? Because you just get that sense of vulnerability from him. But anyway, it's not. It's Tuchel. He's unbeaten since he came in. He's done really well with them. He's tactically very astute. Even the last day they made 3 changes, didn't knock a funk out of them. They look good. They just look good. They haven't had Tammy Abraham the last few games. Hasn't mattered. Mason Mount has scored in the last 3 away games, so he really looks the primary danger. But they do look good. They do look good. But look, you never know. You never know. As I said with the West Ham game, and we could have got a draw. You never know. But look, Leeds will have to step up. I think Chelsea will, looking at the West Ham game, will see where our weaknesses are. Set pieces again, as it was earlier on in the season, although I thought we got a better hold of that in recent games. Phillips, I expect a better game from him. First game back, thought maybe a little bit rusty. Midfield, does Click start? It probably does, because there's nothing else really there unless Shackleton or someone comes back in. But he looks poor and he's just having an off time. We probably do need some signings, and we do need to upgrade the team come summer. But look, the only aim of this season was to stay up, and all we wanted to do was stay up and stay in the division. Like if it was 17th or 12th, it didn't matter. Once we stayed up, that was the main thing, and everything else was fine. And then we build from that. Like we need a left back, we need a keeper to challenge Melzier. Yes, we do. We probably need someone to maybe replace Click, or maybe for competition for Click. We probably, Harrison, Costa, at the moment neither of them are working for me, but there's still time in the season. But I do see someone coming in that capacity. Obviously we need someone to obviously back up for Phillips, because when he's out injured there is an issue in that department. And obviously up front, do we need someone to challenge Bamford? Quite possibly, because I'd like to see Rodrigo get more goals. Like if Bamford had a long injury, would you fancy Rodrigo to get the goals? He hasn't during his career, so will he? I don't know. But anyway, it's fine. We have a decent team. We don't. I've read sources in the media, people commenting, "Oh, we need to cut the team. We need to start again. Oh, this is crazy." Blah blah blah. We were never going to spend 200 million. What if we did spend 200? And like Villa last year, and then nearly went down. They didn't, but what if they did? Like we want to stay here. We want to build. We don't want to make the mistakes of before, when we got relegated and we were down for 16 years. You want to consolidate your position. Yes, all right. We have lost a lot of games, and quite possibly we could lose this weekend. He hasn't lost a game yet, Tuchel, so it's going to be very difficult. But there's plenty of games left that we could win in this division. Do I think we'll end up with 38, 40 points and just scrape it? No, I think we'll do a good bit better than that. But look, it's Leeds and Chelsea. It's the rivalry. It's back to the 1970s. I think FA Cup final 1970 is where it really cemented the rivalry. Johnny Giles, Chopper Harrison, all before my time, watched the videos, but there always has been that bit of an edge. And even in recent times, like I think Lampard and John Terry, they've always been players that have got on the Leeds fans. No, and I think that's part of the rivalry with Villa is the fact that John Terry is there, and same with Derby, Lampard in, sticking his nose in, just kind of trying to. He understood the Chelsea Leeds rivalry, and it was a big come on. But anyway, look forward to the weekend. Early start, 12 o'clock. Hopefully it won't ruin the weekend for us. And we move on. Come on, Leeds, we can do it. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. On.
What's going on, everyone? Alex from US, Leeds fan. Want to reflect a little bit on the West Ham game. Disappointing result. I thought for 80% of the game, the boys played attacking. They played aggressive. They were on the front foot. I thought Bielsa had an excellent game plan. So the effort's there, the desire's there. Unfortunately, when you have a goal disallowed, 2 goals disallowed, and 1 unfairly disallowed by a strange VAR system that not a lot of people understand at the moment. What is offsides, and it's just disappointing. I mean, you're taking away goals, and these are people's careers. Leeds, we've had 3 goals taken away. That's a possibility of 9 points, and obviously we all know who scores first matters. So 9 points is not nothing. That's a lot. So I hope that the best league in the world gets it figured out. But I know a lot of Leeds fans are like missing the championship, and rightly so, because we want to celebrate goals. That's what this is about. That's what this whole sport is about. That's why I'm enthralled by this team and the passion and the energy that they play at. When you take goals away, just don't do that. There's a saying in United States baseball, which is similar, I guess, to cricket, but the tie goes to the runner. In other words, the tie goes to the offensive player because everybody wants to see offense. That's what sells tickets and revenue. So, look, the lads played good, like I said, for 80% of the game. I think it's gutting when so much energy and effort goes into goals and then they get disallowed. It's especially by VAR. It's tough, and when it's not the right call, and I think our estimation, it's just tough. With that being said, there's no excuse for Diego Llorente losing his man in the box. You cannot do that. It's just a will. It's a desire. I know it's drilled in practice. Questions whether it's a huge focus, but Diego's obviously been out a lot of the season, so it's tough, but there's no excuse for that. They got to do better. And so we go again, and we have Chelsea this coming week, and my mindset for that as a Leeds fan is just free hit. They have they're a $1 billion club, and they've got a competent coach now that old Fat Frank is out, and they just have a deep bench, and they have a competent coach, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but my hope is just clean sheet. Just have the mindset. I hope the boys come in with the mindset of clean sheet. That doesn't mean they have to be defensive or passive in nature. I still think that they can be on the front foot, and that's Bielsa's system. I think there's ways to keep a clean sheet with possessing the ball. If you possess the ball, then the other team doesn't score. So my hope is that they have the mindset of everybody from Bamford on back has a mindset of clean sheet and don't get caught out. So that's all I want to really see the boys is give energy, run them ragged. I want them to know that they played Leeds United at the end of the game, and I want to see a spirited game. I want to see energy. Mainly a Berardi sub. Maybe he gets a tackle. I want to see something like that. Something that shows, look, we get you're a $1 billion club and you spend hundreds of millions of dollars in the transfer market, but we're Leeds and we're big and we're global. So that's what I'm looking forward to with Chelsea. I'll take a draw. I think we say it a lot. We haven't drawn a lot, but I'd love a draw. I love a draw. Maybe we can nick a win. But really, I don't have any expectations as far as a result. I just want to see energy, effort, and passion, and and a possibility of a clean sheet. So that's my hope going into Chelsea. Leeds.
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. A very special thanks to Barney Stewart Cook, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.
So many games to play, don't care what's on your mind.